to sound that bad. Come on, lift your hands and shout, he's able. Come on, lift your hands and shout, he's able. Come on, touch your neighbor. It's good to see you tonight. Come on, touch somebody, tell them good to see you tonight. Come on, touch somebody else, tell them good to see you tonight. Come on, hug somebody and tell them good to see you tonight. Come on, hug them real quick. Come on, squeeze somebody real tight. Hallelujah. Come on, squeeze somebody real tight. Tell them good to see you. Ready to be praised. Come on, clap your hands like you know he's great. I say clap your hands like you know he's great. I say clap your hands like you know he's great. I say clap your hands like you know. Thank you. Thank Judges chapter 2. Let's do some teaching tonight. Judges chapter 2. Judges chapter number 2. Thank God for all of you being here tonight. Y'all help me celebrate Deacon Rick for his birthday. I told him, man, you are the best place to celebrate. I'm grateful to have you here. All right, grab your notepad, your pen, you're taking notes on. Thank God for, amen. If you're a visitor, wave at me tonight. Amen. I see one. Amen. She had waved. Thank God for you being here. Amen. Some of y'all been here a few times, so you're not really considered a visitor. You just a member in waiting. Amen. I'm grateful for all you being here tonight. Judges chapter number 2. Judges chapter 2. Let's look at verse number 1. I want to start this section of teaching. I don't know if I'm gonna finish this tonight and pick it up Sunday. If I don't, then I'll pick it back up the next Tuesday that we are together. You can, amen. All right. Judges chapter 2, verse number 1. I want to read down to verse number 6. Amen. Amen. Y'all got to stand for the reading tonight. I'm going to read as expeditiously as possible. From the New American Standard Version of the Bible. All right. Amen. New American Standard Version of the Bible. Now the angel of the Lord came up from Gilgal to Bochim. And he said, I brought you up out of Egypt and led you into the land which I have sworn to your fathers. And I said, I will never break my covenant with you. For as for you, you shall make no covenant with the inhabitants of this land. You shall tear down their altars. But you have not obeyed me. Yeah. What is this you have done? Verse number 3, Elder Crowder or Sister Washington, cut one arrow on before we burn up. Amen.
Thank you, Lord. That's him.
If it's hot now, don't you boogers go to hell.
I ain't going.
Jokers. Verse number 3. Therefore, I also said, I will not drive them out before you, but they will become as thorns in your side, and their gods will be a snare to you. When the angel of the Lord spoke these words to all the sons of Israel, the people lifted up their voices and wept. So they named that place Bochim, and there they sacrificed to the Lord. When Joshua had dismissed the people, the sons of Israel went each to his inheritance to possess the land. I want to talk tonight from the thought, when deliverance is short term. When deliverance is short term. I want you to take notes tonight. I want you to pay attention to what it is that we're going to discuss tonight. I believe it is very important for us to understand. On the outset of this teaching, I want to show you that habits help us throughout our day. Habits, they help us throughout our day. When we're doing something that is habitual, we are engaged in the task in the same way as when we're doing something that is not habitual, something that you do all the time. For example, if you're making breakfast in your own kitchen, if you're in your kitchen, typically you know where everything is. You have created such an environment that you can kind of cook the breakfast in your kitchen almost with your eyes closed. It just comes synonymous. You know I know for me that the Tony Sacherie is normally on this side of the kitchen, so I know that it's easy for me to grab. I kind of know in the refrigerator that the cheese is probably going to be somewhere between the third and the bottom shelf. It's kind of easy to navigate your own stuff. So when it's your own, it becomes habitual. You can almost do it like it's second nature. You know, you come in the kitchen, you already know what to turn on, you know how to do it, you know how to move it real quick, you make it happen because it's yours. So you kind of know how to navigate in what's yours. Yeah. But if I put you in somebody else's kitchen, and you don't know the makeup of their kitchen, then you're out of your element. So now I have interrupted your normal habit. And so whenever there is something that is on your mind, you can be in your own environment and never pick up on it. But when you're in somebody else's environment, things about the way you think, what you perceive, it changes. If you're anything like me, number one, I don't like new environments. And allow me right quick to put a plug right here and tell you that that's why I need y'all to come with me at 3 o'clock, because I don't know these people. It's a new environment. They got to me because of somebody who go here that saw me somewhere else, called them, and they called me and said, is it cool to give your number? And they called me, but I don't know them people. And one thing about it, you feel funny in new environments with people you don't know. So when you're in your own space, you know where you are, you know what to do. But when you are in somebody else's space, it changes how you operate. Habits are the result of repeating and repeating the same behavior until it becomes a cycle. You gain cycles by your habits. Write that down. You gain cycles by your habits. When the habit becomes evil or dangerous, then it becomes a cycle of sin that must be broken. Anytime you are in something, watch this, that becomes toxic, you've got to make some adjustments before it starts to consume you. Can I say something real quick? Some of us have become toxic and don't realize it because your toxicity has become normal. You have been in so many toxic situations that almost if it's not toxic, it's not normal. You ever met people that they get out of anything that looks uncomfortable for them? If it's a relationship and Ray called you out your name, and you break up with Ray, but you get with Jamil, and Jamil don't call you out your name, then you think something wrong with him because you've been used to this. I know y'all don't want to be honest, but truth is, most people will ruin relationships because you think the relationship is bad because dude or homegirl is not your norm. Well, it got tight. I'm just getting warmed up. Y'all already offended. Anything that moves you out, wait a minute. That's what's wrong with some of y'all as it relates to church. This ain't your normal flavor. So anything that's outside of your norm, because see, I'll show you some things are a habit. I'll show you as a habit. Because there are some people, when they walk in the door, I can pretty much program every move they gonna make. All right, I'm gonna show you. All right, you gotta follow me with the camera. Watch I demonstrate. Y'all gonna laugh. Y'all be serious. Facebook watching it out. Watch. I'm gonna show you the habit. Watch. Y'all ready? Sunday number 1. Sunday number 2. You ready? Now, here's the problem. This is empty, that's empty, that's empty, that's empty, that's. But when it's a habit, I'm never going to break. Sunday number 2. Now, what happens is, typically, after 30 days, it's engrafted in you. You do it without saying, I prove it. Ever since Brother Taylor became a deacon, he's been sitting right down the corner. It's almost like second nature. When he come in, he sit right in the corner. Habitual. Now here's the problem. If we never make him uncomfortable to change his seating, 10 years from now. Now here's the problem. If his mind is wrong in the cycle, if Lacey sits in his seat, expose a demon. Most people come to church and hold us hostage to their cycle. We didn't tell you to start doing that. Like prime example. Who told you church was only 45 minutes? Who told you? Who told you that if the preacher preached an hour that he was long-winded? Now, anybody been to a seminar? Now be honest, them boogers will lecture for 2 hours, take a break, come back and lecture. But if I hold you too long in one service, you're angry with me. But if I was showing you how to become a millionaire in 40 days, 60 days, you sit in the seminar because you want the information. But here's the problem. The problem is, it is through our cycles, our habits, that have set up cycles in our lives that have become toxic. And the question is, if anybody questions your habit, you offended. Because it's outside of your norm. So when habits become evil, they become cycles that must be broken. So what happens most times, we think, like me, that if something becomes a habit, I can stop it whenever I want. Then you discover that no matter what you do and how much you rebuke the devil, it seems like you keep failing. It seems like you, every time, I know there's a whole lot of strong people in here, but if truth be told, when a habit really gets control of you, that booger will not let you go. You can fast, you can pray, you come to church and shout, come to the altar, I will slay you with a bucket of oil. But at the end of the day, you still gonna struggle in the same area. What is the problem? You are failing because habits are hard to change. Say what you want to say. Habits are hard. You know, one of the hardest things for me was to wear another color shoe that wasn't black. I wore black shoes. That suit could be blue. I put on black shoes. Tim say, you gonna get some different color shoes? Like, nah. Because they told me black match with everything. It was my habit. I mean, I already knew. When I went to suit mart, whatever, I already knew what I was going to buy. Black shoes. Matter of fact, I told Shannon one day, man, if you let me, I wear a black suit there. It's like, I don't care about y'all. Because it's easy. I don't have to struggle to try to match colors. I'm colorblind. You know, it's a struggle. The struggle is real. Tell you that the struggle is real. Habits are hard to break. Here's why. Habits are hard to break because they're so ingrained in our mentality that the habit or the cycle almost becomes automatic. Habitual formation is the process by which new behaviors become automatic. Yeah. Like, if you got this habit, I ain't judging you. I'm just saying it's the truth. If the moment you get up, you can be half asleep. Reach and grab a cigarette and light it with your eyes closed. That's a habit. Bro, it's second nature. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and then, if you was like my grandma, that woman, you better not move her cigarette. Because she knew that cigarette was there and the lighter was on top of the cigarette. She had to look for the lighter. She would be tired. She had them filters, the little white penguin light filters that she would put on them things, man. And you know, she was so cool with it. She'd have a whole conversation with that booger sitting on the corner. And I'm thinking, how that thing never failed? I mean, talking the smoke coming out the other side of her face. It was second nature. I mean, you understand? When it's second nature, you do it without even thinking about it. It's instinct, like how some of y'all mouth is. I knew you wasn't gonna say man, but yeah, tell the truth. Some of us is almost like second nature. So now, by the same token, if exercise is your thing, well, Lord. You know they said hit dog and holler, you know, that's how tell people don't go to the gym. If jogging is your thing, every morning you know that's your thing. No, man, I've seen them do it in the rain. I've seen them do it, you know, man, freezing outside. They still out there with short pants on. Run. Then, watch this. You ever heard people where their routine was broken, they rehearse it in their mind. You know, right about now, I will be running. Routine. Somebody say routines. Routine. So old habits can be difficult to break, and unhealthy habits or healthy habits can often be hard to develop. But that's because the behavioral pattern we repeat most often are etched in what psychologists call your neural pathway. Now, here's the good news. Just like you create a bad habit, you can set up good habits. Right. All right? Now, here's the issue. You said, what in the world did all of that have to do with the text? I'm glad you asked. Because when we read this text, here is what we will discover. What we discover here is God comes and he confronts the children of Israel about their sins. Yeah. The issue was that they had become covenant breakers. Yeah. They went against the agreement that was set up between God and them. And so God came to confront them. Now, notice what God says. He says to them that I'm the one who brought you out of Egypt. He says, I'm the one who brought you to the land which I swore to your fathers. And he says, I will never break my covenant with you. So here's what he says. He's saying, I'm the one in this relationship that's been faithful. Yeah. The rest of y'all have broke my covenant. So the charge against them was disobedience. They were guilty of breaking their covenant with God. And the charge was so serious that the Israelites had compromised with the sinful lifestyle and false worship of the Canaanites. God had been clear about his instructions to the Israelites. He said the Canaanites were to be driven out of the promised land. Here's my big point tonight. I want you to write it down. I'm only going to mess with one point. One. Here it is. Compromise will detour your deliverance. Compromise will detour your deliverance. Now, compromise was never to be allowed. Because the Canaanites were sinful people. They were evil people. They were immoral. They were lawless. They were violent people. Their cup of iniquity was full, overflowing with savagery. They were brutal. They were people who didn't care about God. And God's people were not to become a permissive society. They were not to compromise with the sinfulness, the evil lifestyle, the false worship of the world. Now, typically, brothers and sisters, here's where the habits come in. Bad habits are formed predicated on what you give entrance to in your lifestyle.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
If you hang around people who are not where God is trying to take you, eventually, if you hang around them long enough, old folks say they will either draw you or drive. Typically, brothers and sisters, typically, whatever you give entrance to will begin to consume you. And the text helps us because they compromise with the sinfulness, the evil lifestyle of the worldly, and they participated in the false worship of their neighboring people. Look at how the door was opened. They compromised with opening up themselves to their lifestyle. Now watch this. Which means I could deduce that it started with following other people's trends. Did you notice? I ain't no shot against y'all, because I mean, if it worked for you, it worked for you, but I don't think it worked for everybody. I noticed that when one person said they wasn't getting a perm, I ain't scared of y'all. I'm going that. You know, when they started this natural movement, I said some of y'all naturals unnatural. I ain't putting nope. Now, you know, if you came up in my generation, you know, they had the hot comb.
Right.
The booger that you put on top of the and that thing, you could hear it with swinging.
Frying that.
Trends. And what happens? We follow trends because for us, it is, I don't want to go against the grain of what everybody else is doing. Because for most of us, we are scared to look like the oddball. You know what I had to tell myself? It's okay to be me. Because I'm not like everybody else. I don't think like everybody else. I don't do what everybody else do. And I don't have to. And here's the problem, y'all. It's nothing wrong with being an oddball if you right. You wouldn't be, I don't hate nobody's feelings. Listen. I'm not dummying down for friendship.
Let that be known.
I ain't dummying down. If you don't want nothing out your life, don't deal with me. And see, some of us, especially our young people, are messing your life up. Oh, look at the day we live in. The 18-year-old got into a fight, group of them in a fight. One of them gets a gun, sits on the roof. 18, and starts shooting. Life gone. See, we live in a culture. I'm sure you compromise. We live in a culture where TV shows us how to deal with our conflicts. The television. So, and some of us, that's why, I ain't knocking. Watch them reality shows that start messing with your head. And the only reason why y'all watching them because you're looking for the fight. Because I promise you wouldn't watch them. There wasn't nobody throwing no champagne across the room. Boy, y'all don't like the truth, boy, I see. You wouldn't watch that, Now, I'm showing you what's bad. I'm showing you bad. My grandmother, I've been on the grandparent kick, so y'all, whatever. My grandmother loves soap operas. You go to her house, yeah, Lacey do too. Oh a little bit too. Now that's true. If I go to Lacey house at 11, I know I'm gonna watch Young and the Rest. I grew up watching Victor and all of this.
Right.
Now, my grandfather used to hate the stuff. He used to hate it. Hate it. You know, young, real big. But over the course of time, I caught him saying, Rudy, it's 11 o'clock. I'll go further. Clarence used to watch a specific set of cartoons until I started watching Monday Night Raw. And he would come and he would walk by. Now, he wouldn't even stay in there. He would walk by a couple times. And he'd walk by and he would look and just waddle his little cell phone back there in his mouth. So next week, I watched Monday Night Raw. He would stumble in there. Stay with it, every week he watch it a little longer. Every week. So the more I was consistent with my cycle, he started catching on to the cycle. So what happened was one day he came in there and sat down. He didn't understand nothing he was watching. Could barely talk. And was just watching. About 10 minutes. He'd get up, leave. The longer he watched it, the more he would come back until now he know their theme songs. He got 2 and 3 of the same wrestling toys. Booker got a whole wrestling ring. He ain't know nothing about wrestling. Same way I got him hooked on quartet singing. All I did was put it on YouTube. And I would sit up and watch YouTube until about a month later, he learned Darrell McFadden. And anytime I had it on YouTube, he couldn't even talk. He would point him out. And he had a straw for a microphone. Remember that? He would get a straw. And would use a straw or a spoon for a microphone. And with a little goody move, he just stumped one of these like that. Cycles. Watch this. We in church so much. He programmed every day. He get in the car. Every day he get in the car. We going to church today? No. Aww. But watch the counter. Daddy, we going to church today? No, you going to school. Again? You said we was going to church. See, now he's going to play me. So he'll say, I told him yesterday we was going to church. But yesterday was Saturday. Sunday we went to church. He did it Sunday. Hey, Daddy, you said we're going to church tomorrow. I said, no. You're going to school tomorrow. No. You told me yesterday. See, yesterday was Saturday. So every day he gets in the car, he's expecting to go to church. Let me ask you a question. What do you do every day without even thinking about it? Like you get up straight, first thing you do, go on Facebook. Cycle. And watch this. You know it's a cycle because it's the first thing you do without even thinking. You snap later on. Like, if you anything like me, I had a craving. See, I can tell on me. I had a craving over the weekend. And, man, I wanted some milk and cookies. Oh, man. I'm sorry. Pray for me. I come to the altar for milk and cookies. Chips Ahoy and some milk. And I left the house. I ain't even say I'd be back. Man, I was craving so bad. I left the house. I come back. Now, I'm telling you how I got them. I got everybody cookies. I brought Kareem some cookies. Daddy got you something. Got Clarence some cookies. Daddy got you something. Sitting there, man, with my milk and cookies. Now, I'm telling you the problem. The problem is, if I'm eating milk and cookies and watching Tom and Jerry, I'm not paying attention to how many cookies I'm eating. Right. So before I realized it, I ate a whole roll of cookies. Now, I got down to the last 3, and I felt like it wouldn't have been fair to the last 3 to leave. Don't act like I'm the only one that feel like that. You ever justifying why you kept doing, like, it wouldn't be right to leave this one slice of cake still here and I already ate 2. You understand what I'm saying? Why leave this one stuck out? Especially when he's talking to me.
Yes, sir.
Say compromise. So they compromised and they opened up an avenue to a lifestyle that was against God. But it was so horrendous. They compromised. Here's the question we got to ask them. What causes the compromise? Now, I'm going to say this, and I know y'all not going to be honest, and I don't care. I'm going to be honest for all of y'all. If it was me, I'd probably compromise with the world. Because you church folk make God look so boring.
Amen. Say that.
And they make sin look so because I see how some of y'all come to church. You know, you talking about I'm glad when they said unto me, let's do it in the house of the Lord. You better walk in. How you doing? Blessed. But boy, I'm gonna tell you what's a trip. That dang on, what's her name? What's your alter ego? Cardi B? That mother packed out the stage, packed out the auditorium, and I saw folk on my Snapchat. Oh, they were loud. You couldn't even hear the record. They were so loud. Ah! And I know some of them go to church because I know that. In church, looking lifeless. But when you go into your environment, now, I'll tell you what's wrong. See, some of y'all looking at me like you ain't got no alter ego. Like you don't have Saturday night you. Don't be sitting up in here acting like you ain't got no. So appealing.
All day.
It's appealing. So now, everybody want to try hard because they make it look so appealing. Man, ain't gonna lie, man. Look, I'm telling you, it be some crazy stuff going on my Facebook. I be seeing them where they be at parties. And they just be tilting bottles. What be like this? Right. Just tilting. I'm saying, man, I done seen all type of strobe lights and all kind of stuff. Loud music. You know, I done seen women twerking on women. I was like, well, listen, Father in heaven, I know what these are now. This is some crazy stuff. Why y'all looking at me like you don't see it? It's like, I can't believe he bring that up. Well, what else we supposed to talk about? People making, see, some of y'all be so spiritual, you don't tell the truth. They be making the stuff look so appealing. You be like, I wonder, am I in the wrong line of work? Because listen, as long as me and Rodney and Connection been together, I just be one. Just one. Lace with me, just one. I can roll my voice like Chris Brown.
Chris Brown came up.
Why the truth?
I think I can hang with some of them. It's real tempting because you be like, for them, all they need is a nice beat and a stupid hook.
That's right.
The hook can be stupid as long as the beat is fat. Millionaire. We over here. Bless the Lord. Oh, and then it's foreign. Don't let us in church mess around and change the beat. You religious folk. It's worldly music. Listen, stupid. All of that came from the church. Your BB Kings and your Bobby Blue Bands and all of them boogers become bad representatives because we have compromised our standards.
Yeah, man.
So when we go around people that's in the world because we don't want to offend them, we dummy down who we are so that we don't offend them. And sometimes I be wanting to know which one of us should be offended. Because if I serve God, now again, let me be honest. If I serve God, and I know I'm not perfect, but I'm smart enough to at least hide my dysfunction. They do what they want to do. So which one of us should be offended? Because if we say something about what they do, then they get offended and like we're supposed to tuck tail and run. And the problem is most of us have tucked tail on our own views and we right. To compromise our standards. They made it look so appealing. So the Lord had warned them. I got 6 minutes, I'm cool. The Lord had warned the Israelites, if you refuse to drive out the Canaanites from the promised land, he said, I'm going to chastise you. You would face discipline and judgment. If the Israelites desired the world and its sinful enticements, then they would have the world. They would be allowed to walk in the ways of the world with its bright lights and immoral, materialistic behavior. But by walking in the ways of the world, they would also, notice the text, experience thorns and snares by the word. All right, if you're writing, write this down. Thorns meant trials of the world. Snares meant the temptation of the world. Thorns meant trials of the world. Snares meant temptation of the world. Oftentimes, brothers and sisters, the greatest temptation appears when we are in and around the lives of people with different moral codes. Yeah. Right. Look at this culture. All right. As long as it feels good to you, do it. Listen, especially you Bible readers. Church folk can't judge you. Who are you to judge? You know that's it. Who are you to judge me? Now let me say this. It's funny that the people who don't want to be judged judge.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Come on, man. Come on. We got to shout back, but at least let's be honest. Most people who don't want nobody saying nothing about them always run their mouth. Like it's almost like this. I laugh at liars who get lied on. Dude, what did you expect? Like it's foreign. You just heard, that's why I don't get with these jokers walking around telling me, that's the reason why I don't go to church. Because all them church folk phony. Fool, you in the right place because you just as phony. All them hypocrites. Exactly. I'm telling you what. Hypocrite in the Greek, it means an actor on the stage. Now here's the truth. Say what you want. All of us have played a role. All of us. We came in here, faked the funk. Like everything was good. You dropped it last night. You dropped that boot. That's why your legs hurt. You wasn't doing like squats. You wasn't doing no squats. Hush. I'm going to start a new church, y'all. 1 Corinthians 15:33. Here's what it says. You don't have to turn it. Here's what it says. It says, do not be deceived. Watch this, young people. Bad company corrupts good morals. Who you hang around. See, that's why even us as parents, you better start checking these kids' phones. They got passcode. What you need a passcode for? People have phones like they conduct business. When you hang around those who who are unbelieving, if you're not careful, they will pull you away from your relationship with God. And when we compromise and settle for the pleasures and the allurement of the world, we don't realize that there are habits that form. Watch this. And every habit has a consequence. See, here's what will stop me from partying. This me, because this the way I think. Man, y'all turning up Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday night. Maybe you will skip Tuesday, Wednesday night, Thursday night. Here's my problem. Eventually, you're going to start having some body problems.
That's right, yeah. You're still right.
No wonder some of y'all 20 looking 60.
Oh,
You ain't like that either.
that's true.
Oh, wait. Since you already offended, let me go further. Let's go further. Maybe that's why it was so easy for R. Kelly to get to them young girls.
Come on, man.
Because if you 14, where your mama, baby? See, now y'all like the truth. Y'all want to bastardize the dude. But I got a question. How did he get his hands on them little girls? I got another question that the saints ain't gonna like. If she 14 and dressed like a slut, who bought her the clothes?
Well, Reverend.
Because sister girl ain't got no job. So how she tootsie rolling with a bun in the video? I'm just asking. For the record, any girl who was still doing the tootsie roll, you needed to check her ID. Hold on, sis. It's now some ain't right about that. See, we always talk about what happens after the fact. But what happened with the prevention? See, because now, look at the culture. No. See, because my mama never was abusive. They just always whooped us. And then y'all know how we talk. They hit us with whatever was bothering. It's just a shame. Okay, I understand. Let me ask you a question. Nigga, you ain't never been to jail.
Never had a record.
And you mad? Now let me ask you a question, okay? Let me ask you a question. If friendship status is what we're going after, why more young people going to jail? Because the court don't want us to touch them. So you telling me you don't want me to touch him, but the booger got the audacity to ball his fist up at me? Oh, the devil is a liar. You hear what I'm saying? We foster disrespect. Wait a minute though. Wait a minute. See, it's okay if the child disrespect me, but if he disrespect the police, then it's a whole other issue. See, we compromise because our Bible tells us that if they get out of line, we're supposed to put the rod of correction. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Spare the rod. Now. All you Bible readers who just quoted that scripture but don't discipline your kids, you need to be rebuked.
Got the milk, Reverend. Yes, sir.
Now listen, let me say this too. You know, I had grandparents too. My grandparents didn't like us to get whoopings either. They did. You know, and you know, my grandfather, man, you know, he really went in on my mom one day. Now listen, Sandra. You in my house, in my rules. You ain't gonna whoop him in my house. Yes, sir. I won't touch him in your house. But we forgot while we were in the corner smiling. Damn, I don't live here. I'm the same way, man. You know, I always thought I was hard. And my in-laws broke me down. I told Kareem, you on a strict diet. Strict. Salads. You know, shed some of your weight. Went to the movie. I was hard for about 7 days. My mother was like, KJ, what you gonna eat? I knew she would set me up. KJ, what you you gonna eat?
A salad.
He looking up at me. Daddy said, I gotta get a salad. Here she go. A salad? Now, let me tell you what she said. But he right here with me. What does that have to do with the diet? She was like, but a salad, son, he's still gonna be home. He can't get a small burger. You know the sliders, they ain't that big. Small. Now I'll tell you how I was good at the crowd for about 5. Cause see, I never looked at her. I'm looking at KJ. You eat salad. KJ doing this. Now I'm already triple team because you know you got KJ, you got mother-in-law, you got my father-in-law, then you got Teddy. Now Daddy with me. Yeah. Now Lois, you heard me Dad said. Dad said, I know Robert. Can he have a slide? Kareem, do whatever you want, man. You know, I'm sorry. Now, when I got to my seat, he go Teddy. So I hit under the chest, man, shut up. Now, then, you know, I had the man back up, so I hollered down, you getting the salad when we leave here, though. Let me close. You, that was funny to me. All right, let me close. When we settle, we compromise. Now, here's the consequence. Let me show you the consequence, and I'll get out of here. I got to show you this. The Israelites, because they compromised with the word, write this down, it cost them financially. Right. It cost them emptiness of their soul. Right. It cost them oppression. It cost them distress. And eventually it cost them enslavement. Now, I had to get there so I could ask you this question in my close. What is your compromise costing you? All right, you want to keep friends. Cool. But what is it costing you? Because maybe it's me, but have you ever noticed as long as you paying the bill, they come in? But you know what? I wonder, how many friends will we have if we stop picking up the tab?
Come on now. Come on now.
How many friends would you have if the next time they called down and said, let me hold $20? You say, no, why don't you let me hold $20? Or ask them this good question. What happened to the other 50 you owe? Folks thought, we just ain't as cool as we used to. No, because you can't mind screw me. And when people, remember we talked about control. When people can't control you no more, then they don't deal with you. That's how you know if a relationship is authentic. Just randomly. Can I? No. Because that's how you're going to learn if the love is really real. Because as long as you're giving them what they want, I got a question. At what point are you going to focus on what God is trying to do in you versus the people that's draining everything from you? Because I promise you, if you start buying friendship, you're going to be broke because you're going to keep having to buy. Yeah, man. I got one more question. I'm close. One more question. And we compromise. What is it gonna cost you? I got another question I need to ask. One more. Here it is. What is being liked by everybody got you? Now, in his covenant, God promised to bless Israel if they would obey him and discipline them if they disobeyed him. So God is always faithful to his word. Watch this. Watch this. God is, look at your neighbor and say, God is faithful to his word.
God is faithful to his word.
Now, watch this bust upside your head.
Uh-oh.
That's either in blessing or punishing.
One of them.
See, you know what? I tested that principle even with my own children. And as long as you would threaten to whoop them but never would, they would get worse. You know, you scare them. This is. And then, you know, a couple of days they might do good. And then you right back, you better stop them or whoop you. But I noticed something, man. When KJ was in school, elementary, you know, he was just getting started.
Lord have mercy.
You know, you see Dominic knew. Dominic would be at our house. Dominic, when I walked, Dominic had a key to the house. If I walked in the house and I wouldn't smile and KJ would hold his head down, Dominic would literally go outside because he already knew he in trouble. Now, as long as I was saying, if you do that again, I'm gonna get you. He go do it again. If you do that again, I'm gonna get you. So here's how I changed the game and corrected his behavior. I said, if I gotta whoop you every day, I'm gonna whoop you every day. That boy gotta whoop me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. By Friday, he was like, he ain't playing. So by the next Monday, it was green face. Now Clarence, you know, he a kid at home. The first few weeks, he tested us. You know, green face one day. And Tiffany like, it's Monday, Tuesday. Wait a minute, green. Every Wednesday, he would get a red face. So Wednesday morning, I would threaten his life. You know, and Tiffany would coach me because I'd be forgotten. I'd be walking, you know, playing with him. Tiffany, man, no. Please. Red face. Clarence! Won't you come home with no red face? Yes, sir. That joker come on with a yellow face. I said, boy, you know mama's child, boy. He get in the car, Clarence, you got, hey, stink, hey, daddy, you got green face? No, sir. I know you got a red face? No, sir. You got a yellow face. And he wore it with a badge of honor, so I was like, wait a minute. Oh, man, now see, I ain't say nothing about the yellow face. I'm like, oh, man, he got me. So, you know, I got to come back. If it's a yellow or a red face, I'm going to beat the brakes off. You get in the car, you got green? Yes, sir. Green face. I ain't seen a yellow face since. Watch this. Sometimes, I'm closing. Sometimes you got to out-cycle the cycle. And if you say, I'm going to discipline you for this, you got to stick to your guns. Because if you don't, they're going to take advantage of you. God, see, we always talk about his faithfulness when it comes to good stuff. But he is faithful to discipline. He is faithful. That's why I be trying to tell y'all, man, look, you withhold your money, your goods, all of that from the Lord, all you want to. But I'm telling you something about God. He is the ultimate bill collector. He gonna get it from you one way or another. You hear me? I'd rather give it up. Let's be careful in our compromise. You gotta be able, man, to go into a different environment and not change who you are because of who you're around. Man, I like to be like you to be with you. I don't. And for some of us, we better be honest to check our circle and hold on to that evil communication corrupts good manners. You set up bad morals from the people that you hang around. Lift your hands. I'm finna quit. Father, we pray tonight that you would help us be who you called us to be. God, we ask you in the name of your son, Jesus, build our resolve that we will not compromise our standards against what you have set up for us. We don't want our deliverance to be short term. We want to be free. So help us tonight. Every area of our lives where we are weak and faulty, give us strength in our weaknesses. Build us up where we're eating and torn down. We thank you for it right now. In Jesus' name. Amen. Keep your hands lifted for a second, and I want you, lift your hands, come on. I want you for about 10 seconds. I want you to just begin to think about areas in your life where you compromise. Things in your life that you know that you need to change. Places you need to fix. Maybe some things you need to mend. I want you to begin to ask God to strengthen you in those areas and deliver you in areas. Come on, ask Him to search you. Come on, 10 seconds. You got to do this one for yourself. Come on, don't look at me. Close your eyes and just begin to talk to Him. Have a real moment. That's what he's here.